Blah. What are the things that you really love? And what are the things that just like are like, oh my God, I got to do that. Fuck, I hate doing this. Like, what is like, you know, in terms of like the tasks, the workflow of special effects makeup, like, do you love the sculpting? Like, what part of the process? In the same way that as a filmmaker, some filmmakers like things in different ways. Some like to do the editing the most. Some like to do the writing the most. Some like production the most. You know, so what part of the process do you love the most, and what part of the process is maybe the one that maybe it causes you the most headaches, but you know, you're like, oh, it's all good.
Oh, it really depends on the job, but there's a lot, like all the shops are very compartmentalized. So when you go to most shops, you're going to do one thing and you're going to be stuck doing that for the whole duration of the show.
Gotcha.
Some of the smaller shops, like I'm at a shop that's like a medium level size shop right now. I'm doing everything. Like I'm running around doing, like I'm molding one day. And then like this past week, I was distressing outfits to make them look old. And
Sure.
like I had to do a Captain America outfit for Marvel Zombies. So I had to take a legit Captain America outfit and destroy it with sandpaper and spray paint dirt, not spray paint, but airbrush dirt all over it and make it look, you know, burnt, like it was hit by a bunch of lasers. And
dude, you're working on
missiles.
The fucking Marvel Zombies.
It's something. I don't know if it's Marvel Zombies or not, or for, I'm not exactly sure what it was for, but also another Star-Lord. I had to do a Star-Lord Guardians of the Galaxy 3 jacket and, you know, distress
Very
that
cool.
and pants. It's like, oh shit, this is kind of cool, you know?
Yeah.
And then we were doing For All Mankind. I was like working on the shoes, putting those together, putting the outfit together, like a bunch of spacesuits for the TV show. And then also casting a bunch of things. So I mean, I'm doing a lot. You get to wear many hats at smaller shops. But at the bigger shops,
do you like that though? Do you like that better than just doing the same thing over and over again? Real quick.
I do.
Kevin Vonsper is in the comments. He's saying,
yo, what's up, man?
Kevin, how you doing? Kevin,
got your nose. Got your nose.
Yes. Real quick, Kevin is having the Sexecutioner on. If you're a fan of Guar, Kevin does the Guar pod, and he's had Techno Destructo. He had Sleazy P Martini. He's had a bunch of people. Oh, he just finished his live one with the Sexecutioner. So go check that out. When you're done here, go head over there and check out his podcast.
Yeah, Techno Destructo. He's a pretty good friend of mine, a really dear friend of mine. Like,
oh, nice.
He comes over. We play board games all the time. That's like when he comes over, he doesn't want to talk about Guar or any. I mean, he will still bring it up. He'll still bring it up. Trust me. But it's mostly comic books, anime, horror films, board games. That's what we bond over. You know, it's great. We have like lots of game nights with him. He's a good dude. He's a good dude. And
he lives out. I didn't know he lived out there. I thought he was in Canada or something.
No, he lives out here. Oh yeah, he lives out here.
That's great.
Back in like 2018, 19, he was living with me for about 6 months. So yeah, he was. Yeah. So we got to be pretty close. Yeah, he's a good dude.
That's awesome.
That's my cat.
Hi, cat. What's the name of your cat?
This is Lucifer.
Oh, she's a Bengal cat. Lucifer. Got it. Got it.
Yeah, I got it.
Lucifer.
Yeah, she's sweet. She's sweet. She meows a lot. But yeah,
the small shop. So you get to do a bunch of stuff. You get to distress outfits. And for those of you out there who don't know what distressing means, it's where you gotta make it look distressed. You gotta rough it up. You want to make it lived in or worn in, you know, for how it suits the story. And someone's got to do that. And that is one of clearly the many tasks that Andy is tasked with at this shop.
Yeah, at the bigger shops though, you work on bigger shows, like more prestigious work. Like the last shop before this one, I was at K&B for about two and a half years, and I was doing all the Walking Dead stuff and
very cool
Space Jam. Oh god, Creep Show season 1 and 2. Yeah, I did.
Very cool.
I'm on the credits for that. Oh, my most favorite thing was I did a Tarantino film.
Tarantino. What Tarantino movie did you do?
Yeah, it was his last one, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Wow. What did
Yeah,
you
that
do
was
on
cool.
that thing?
It was the very end where they had that dog that like attacks the Manson family, the pit bull, I believe.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was cool. That was
So you
really
were
cool.
on set for that.
I wasn't on set.
Oh, you weren't
No.
on set. You just got to build the
No.
dog. You got to
Yeah, I got to.
do.
Yeah. Hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. See,
So
most of the time I'm never on set. Most effects people aren't on set. They sit in a stinky, dirty, toxic shop and they build things. It's not glorious work. It's not fancy, but it's cool. Then we send all that shit to set, and the people on the set who execute it, they get all the fucking glory and all the credit. So.
And that was going to be my next question, actually, as someone who has spent very little time. So I consider I am a filmmaker. I make micro budget feature films, but I'm not in the environments that you are in at all. I don't know anything about them. Tell me who is the person that is executing that on the set? Is that just special effects department that gets the special effects makeups? I mean, don't you need a special effects makeup artist to be on set to apply makeup? So is there like an intermediate sort of role in that kind of way, or how does that all work?
Well, first off, you got to be union, and to go union for makeup is like it's like
Yeah,
winning the lottery. It's really hard.
but
It's
once
really
you're
hard.
in, when you're in, right? Like that's
Mm,
like
it's even then you're not guaranteed work. The
really
makeup union is so oversaturated. It has so many people in it right now. Um, Most people that go union are usually like females who are trying to, older male makeup artists are trying to bang these female chicks, and so they get them in. It sucks. I know it's good for them though. It's good for them, you know. But or you have to work like X amount of days for so many years, and
right.
then
You have to earn,
uh, and
and
then you have to pay $8,000 to join. It's crazy.
you know what? It's easy. Someone could say to me right now what I'm about to say as kind of sounding conceited or whatever. But at the end of the day, like everything you're describing, it's like if I want to make a movie, I should just go and try and make a fucking movie. Like fuck it. Like
Yeah.
why do I want to try and climb this ladder? It's a rat race that I'm never gonna friggin' win. Because at the end of the day, and not I mean, this is a very generalized comment or notion, is that there's so much competition, and there's always going to be someone that's better than you in some way, shape, or form, or somebody who has a better in than you that beats you out. And it's just kind of like I don't even want to maybe I don't want to even put my energy into that. I'd rather be fulfilled in doing my own independent projects right where I'm at and just call it a day and be happy in that way, shape, or form. I suppose it is different if it is your livelihood, if it's not just an artistic endeavor, if this is how you are making money, it's a completely different conversation. It's completely different notions here. But if
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like it is the way you make a living, and sometimes
right.
it's very easy to become jaded, you know.
Yeah, sure.
But there's
Sure.
once in a while you have to like realize like shit. I'm part of an elite group of people that get to make some amazingly cool, awesome things. Like people like when I was 15 were daydreaming about what people like me now were doing in the shop. Like how are they making all
Sure.
this shit? And I'm
Sure.
doing it. I'm fucking doing it, So it's cool. But yeah, there's a lot of times where the politics they really wear you down. They really get to you. And
That's literally
it's
what I was
tough.
when you were talking about distressing clothes, and I was thinking about that's what I do in my free time. Like, oh, I'm doing this for this scene that I have to shoot. I have to distress these clothes. I
Yeah.
would never imagine. I can't imagine a million years being paid to do that. And that is like your reality. Like that's amazing. That is
Yeah,
fucking amazing, dude.
it's cool. It's
It's
really
like
cool.
you sit there, probably listen to your own music if you want. You put your earbuds in. You're just like, I gotta fucking distress this. And it's
Yeah,
like
like today,
that's 9 to 5.
today I was blasting like Demu Borgir, then I was playing Rainbow, and then like Halloween, blasting it, just fucking blasting it, and I'm like
Yeah,
distressing a Marvel zombie outfit. It's fucking cool.
I mean, that's a pretty great reality, Andy. That's a pretty
Yeah,
great reality.
yeah,
At the end of
I'm
the day.
blessed.
And
Yeah,
it also does speak to the idea of like again, when money is tied to your passion, it can fuck with your emotions, man. It's like, it's like when those things overlap, and then it's like, oh, this is my passion, but it's also work, or it's my work.
Yeah, that happens way too often. It's people get so attached to the work that they're doing for the shop owner, and if the shop owner wants to make a change, they come in and give you new direction, and the artist doesn't agree with it. Oh, they'll butt heads,
Wow.
Yeah, it's very hard to take a step back and go, like,
what do you do in that situation? Do you like, I mean, is there, like, how far do you push the envelope, or do you just go, well, look, it's like what you were saying before. I want to be a guy, you don't want to get blacklisted. You don't want to make waves. You want to be an enjoyable person, which means you have to be an agreeable person. So, like, on what level do you let go of the rope? It's like,
it depends on the situation,
Sure.
If it's something that production's calling for, then,
Right.
then the shop owner is just kind of following orders. He's doing what he's told, and he's just passing it on to you. So you'll grumble about it, and you have to do it. But if it's the shop owner that's telling you to do something different, and you know a better way to do it, or you got some foresight that it's not going to work down the road because you've been down that road before, then you'll kind of push back a little bit, and it's hard not to, and sometimes they'll listen to you, sometimes they won't. And then if it doesn't work, and then you're pissed off, then you can't tell them, I told you so, Now,
let me ask you this question. You've been doing this for so long, and you're so like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, you're so steeped in all of these different processes. Have you ever thought about just striking out on your own, or is that just like that's just not even worth the effort and energy? It's better to be in somebody else's situation where you can just sort of come and go as you please.
Okay, a lot of people, they say that they would never do it, then they end up doing it.
Yeah.
A lot of times the people that start their own shops, they're either people that don't get along with people in other shops. So they're like, I'm just gonna go on my own, but they don't recognize that they don't get along with other people. They just naturally don't get along with people. And they're like, well, I can do it better by myself. And then those people become your boss, and they're assholes. They suck. And that's a lot. But some of them are really nice. Some are really, really cool. So, but yeah, we're all artists. We're all, we're not always the best with people. Like, you got these guys that were in the room sculpting as, 12-year-olds up until their 20s, and they finally make it into the effects industry, and they didn't work on their people skills. They're just passionate about their work.
They're intelligent artists, but they don't have empathy, or they don't have emotional. Here's the thing that in every industry you need: emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence, probably the number one thing, right?
You would think it's common sense, but it's not common. Trust me, it's not common. It's not common. And I'm not saying this condescendingly in any way, but I think a lot of people in the industry might have a little touch of autism, because they just obsess over things. And
right, you mean like somewhere on the spectrum of
somewhere on the spectrum, yeah. And they don't get social cues when someone's upset. There's a lot of that going on. There's a lot of that going on.
Interesting. Maybe there's a correlation there.
So it's really hard to find. There's a lot of good people, but like I said, there's a lot of people that are just like, dude, yeah, you're never going to work in this industry for long. I've seen a lot of people come and go. Right.
Over 20 years, I'd imagine. Kevin is saying you have a 3D printer now, and that you should make some dookie. That was in response to your own shop. And that you should.
That's a good idea. Yeah, I should do haunted garage miniatures, right?
And Tyson, good evening to you. Thank you for joining us. We're here with Andy. We're talking.
That's a good one, Kevin.
Yeah. So, and then what is, like, again, Like what is like your personal favorite thing to do? Like, is it
Painting.
sculpting, painting?
Painting. Yeah. Painting.
Okay. So
Yeah.
what is that? What do you mean paint, like painting props or painting like masks, or what kind of painting?
Yeah. Within the industry, you'll do masks, you'll do prosthetics,
Yeah.
you'll do right now, like with all the superhero movies, like if you're not doing a superhero suit, you're not going to make money normally.
Wow.
That's a big part of it, is superhero suits. So it's
So-
like, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
So yeah, a lot of people don't like to paint the superhero suits because it's very bland. You know, like the most creative you'll get is like maybe just dressing it, maybe looking at having it look like battle damaged. You know, and for a lot of the painters in the industry, they don't like doing that. They want to do like monsters. They want to do a T-Rex or something. You know, they don't want to do a boring superhero. So, but
What
yeah,
is it
I mean,
about the painting? What is it about the painting? Is it like is it just the idea of making something look super realistic? Is there an aspect of the painting that you find really rewarding?
yeah, you could take something like a really mediocre, bad sculpture,
Yeah,
and a good paint job will save it.
right.
It'll make it come to
Transform
life.
it. Cool.
And
Very cool.
and then it'll be on screen. You know.
Yeah. Did you like Psycho Gorman? Did you see Psycho Gorman?
I for me, that was like the smash hit of 2021. I've seen that movie so many.
something else, man? Especially if you're a
Fantastic.
special effects guy, like the
It's Todd Masters.
miniatures.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Todd Masters. He's the man. Yeah, he used to have a shop here in LA for many years, but then I think he got tired. He had two shops here in LA, then one in Canada, and he got tired of it. So he closed shop. Well, it's too expensive here. It's the competition is too fierce, and the budgets get lower and lower. Then you have all these shops that are like lowballing one another, the lowballing productions, you know. So you can't. It's hard to make money, and so if they're lowballing productions, therefore the employees are going to get a lower rate too, you know. So it's shitty. So a lot of a lot of the industry people, they want to try to make all these shops go union, because if they go union, then they have a flat rate,
Right.
and the flat rate's pretty good. So. But a lot of the old timers, they're fighting. It's a weird thing going on around. There's this weird struggle of like non-shop union and shop union. Right now, I'm at a shop that's union. There's like only like 4 or 5 union shops in the industry, and I'm at one of them. So I just went union.
So you are in the union.
Just I'm like in a weird limbo state where I've got all my hours, I've submitted them. I just got to go through all the classes and stuff and get sworn in. But yes, technically, kind of yes, I guess. I could go on set and stuff, and I get union pay, but
Nice.
I'm for costuming, not for makeup. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird, and it's cheaper for costumes. It's only $800 opposed to $8,000 for makeup.
Wow.
Yeah, big difference. So. And you get more work too.
What is like your personal dream project, like in terms of special effects, makeup, or is it like really just anything? You're like, whatever, I'm into. Like, is there something that you like a professional goal that like or dream project that you really want to sink your teeth into, or like
I've already done it. I've already done it. Haunted Garage. That was it.
Haunted Garage. Okay. Well, we're gonna move. We're gonna get to Haunted Garage in a minute. I just meant even with, I know you did stuff for them, special effects, makeup stuff for that, but I just mean within the other
film
world
industry.
Within the world that we were just talking about. Is there anything that like you really want to sink your teeth into that you are vying for or aiming?
I did Star Wars, so that was cool.
Wow. Which Star Wars did you do?
Mandalorian. Yeah, season 3.
What?
So, yeah. So that was cool. We did 80 Mandalorian suits for that. That was pretty insane.
So you had to just dress the Mandalorian suits.
Yeah. That was pretty awesome.
That's
and I did a bunch of mold work for it, and I did a bunch of like fabrication stuff in the sewing department. It was fun. It was a lot of work, but it was also I got to be careful with this one. because Disney, Disney.
Understandable.
Yes, Disney. That's all I'm going to say. Disney. But
Yes.
overall, it was
very
it was
cool.
a
Very cool.
It was a bucket list thing.
Star Wars. You did Star Wars. That's cool. Great.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Great.
Oh, Hellraiser. I did Hellraiser. Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
What did you do on Hellraiser? I loved, dude. I'm not like Hellraiser's not like a sacred cow to me. So I went into the new Hellraiser, absolutely loved it. Really, really had a good time. Thought the movie worked really well. Just like enjoyed the shit out of it. Really, truly. What the hell did you do on that one?
I worked on Chatterer. I worked on Pinhead. God, I remember when I was working on it, I thought the movie was gonna suck. I thought it was gonna be terrible. I was pleasantly surprised when I saw it because they didn't have we were building all these prosthetics and creature suits for actors that weren't even cast yet. And normally you need a live cast so you could sculpt on top of the live casts. So it's custom fit. We have none of this custom stuff. We had nothing. It was what's going on? But yet we still had to have the ball rolling, And
Sure.
this was also last year. I wasn't really, for me, it wasn't fun because I wasn't ready to come back to work yet at the time. I was like COVID was happening. I was watching the kids. My wife was going to work. I was enjoying my break from all the chemicals, but they needed people. The industry at that time, for whatever reason, was so busy, they couldn't find people to work at the shop. You got to remember, all these effects people are jaded. They don't care what the project is. They're like, oh, Hellraiser, great, whatever. There's been 7 or 8 other ones that have been terrible. Who gives a fuck,
Right.
So, but I heard it's gonna be a reboot. I went, oh, that's interesting. Okay. So, I tried to make it work, and I worked on it for about maybe 3 weeks, I would say.
Wow.
But at the time, it was a dark time for me because it was really hot. It was 115 degrees in the shop, no air conditioning. There was no booth to work out of to do all of your casting and molding and stuff like that. So it was just really uncomfortable. And then my cousin killed himself. So yeah. So I got word of that. So I took a 2 week.
Dude.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
But so I come back from work. I come back to work after I kind of deal with all that shit, deal with his funeral and all that. And then one of my worst enemies in the industry, I don't have any except for one. He's working in the shop. Yeah, they had to replace me.
Moriarty.
Yeah, so I was just I'm tapping out. I'm done. My headspace, I was in a bad spot. So
sure.
So they put up with me with all the bullshit I was going through. So I give them a lot of credit for that. But yeah, it just, for me, it wasn't enjoyable at all. But the end result was fucking amazing. I mean, the work was
oh my god,
stellar. The designs were incredible. They looked really cool.
Loved it.
In the movie, though, I kind of felt like the characters a bunch of dumb Grand Theft Auto AI. Man, I didn't give a shit about any of them. I just wanted to see cool ways that they're going to die.
They were paper thin, but that was not super inconsequential to me.
It was. Yeah.
I actually, to be quite honest, I was kind of reminded of the Evil Dead remake, the drug addict Jane type character. It was very reminiscent of that, but that's not what made the movie so awesome. It was just the way that they presented the story. The story was so much more coherent to me than it was in the original Hellraiser. I can't explain why. I just, I never really knew what was going on in the first Hellraiser movie. I don't know why that was. I just didn't,
It's the editing. The editing's a little janky, right?
Right. So I'm not crazy about that. It is a little incoherent. And basically Kevin agrees with us about the comparison.
Yeah, with all my friends, when they say what's it like, I say, oh, it's like the Evil Dead remake. It's not a complete insult. It's not an insult at all, but it's not my favorite either. I enjoyed it, but I wasn't blown away by it at the same time. I thought they could have done more with the gore. I thought they
Yes.
They went cheap on. Yeah, they could have done more, but it was enjoyable overall. It was enjoyable. I give a 7.5.
But what's interesting, what was interesting was I was actually able to follow the story as opposed to the original. Kevin says it right here. OG Hellraiser was really flimsy in terms of plot and mythos at the end when they disappear and the special effects and a lot. Yeah, it just like I'm actually like following the story of like the dude, the Frank type character who is, you know, I mean, I was like, oh, wait a minute. There's like different levels of different types of rewards. Like that is not, they don't ever communicate any of that shit in the original Hellraiser at all.
No.
For some reason, Hellraiser, and I have nothing bad to say about the original Hellraiser apart
Well,
from,
you know, I've read Hellbound Heart. I read it in high school. And
oh, you did?
Yeah, I don't think that was in the book. It was a novella. It was like, it was pretty short. But I don't remember different levels of there's Hellraiser 3 CD sent by the camera, sent by.
Yeah, dude. Anthony Hickox, man. The CD.
Yeah.
Shout out
pretty
to Anthony
bonkers.
Hickox.
Yeah. But no, it was good overall. Like I didn't like the first third of the movie, but like once they got to the house, the mansion, that's when things started to really pick up, and it was pretty cool. And they did some really cool stuff visually, like when she was in that ambulance. Remember that?
Yeah.
And the whole thing
God. All that stuff. See, all that stuff where they like kind of really show, they really do show the, you know, how they're sort of these interdimensional beings, which is not really, it's not, it doesn't work the same way in the first one. You really feel like they come from another dimension in this new movie, and it's quite terrifying. And this idea that like, that they are just transformed, or that they're just seeking sensation and pleasure beyond human comprehension, which is just, you know, demons to some, angels to others, whatever.
What else did I work? I think I worked on that. Do you remember that weird little motor engine block in his chest? I don't know what the fuck that was.
Nerve. It was a nerve. All of his nerves were strung up to the motor block, and every time, like every couple of minutes, it would tighten the nerves. It was pulling on all of the nerve endings in his body. That was a cool device. That was crazy.
See, you paid attention to it more than I did.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, but that's what's so funny is that it just was easier than say that original Hellraiser movie. It was so I don't know. I just thought it was interesting.
I'll definitely rewatch it, but